Hey everybody, and welcome to Lesson 3 of Unit 0. We're going to talk about properties and rules in mathematics that you've learned previously in elementary and middle school that are going to follow us into algebra and become very helpful as we begin the study. Now, if you see in the first chart here, it has basically the properties that you've learned in earlier years. So if we look, we've got the associative property, the commutative property, the distributive property, the identity property, and the inverse property. We're going to walk through these very quickly because more than anything, looking at problems, using your noticing will help you practice identifying these more than me simply reading the directions and definitions to you. Associative property, and I always go to the example because examples are really how I like to learn. Basically, it's saying that you can associate or group things together in varying ways and moving them around. But noticing it only works with addition and multiplication and not subtraction and division. So you can't say that 15 plus 4, 15 minus 4 minus 7 equals the same thing as 7 minus 15 minus. You can't move those around. And same thing with the division. Now, when we talk about the commutative property, again, we're talking about moving things around. And we've got 5 plus 4 plus 3 is the same as 4 plus 3 plus 5. So it works with addition and multiplication, but again, not with subtraction and division. Distributive property is probably the most important property we're going to use on a regular basis. And it has to do with moving things and sharing things within groupings. So if we look here, 5 times 3 plus 4, we know from GEMDAS, yesterday's lesson, that 3 plus 4 is 7. We take care of what's inside. And 5 times 7 is 35. But when we can use the distributive property, we can kind of forget GEMDAS a little bit and take care of things in this manner. 5 times 3 here plus 5 times 4 here gives you 15 plus 20, which is 35, which is the same thing that we got using GEMDAS taking care of the parentheses first. So the distributive property, when we start in algebra, is going to help us distribute things like the -2 through the parentheses here. So 5 minus 2 times this quantity, and when I see a grouping, I always think this quantity. You have to remember that you have to distribute the -2 times x, which is -2x, and then -2 times -3. Negative times a negative, when we multiply like signs, it is always a positive 6. So that goes back to the first lesson we had, which is remembering how to do operations with integers. And we've talked a little bit about GEMDAS, and now we've used it in the distributive property. So all the lessons this week are foundational and really help us learn how to move and how to do things in a precise order. Identity is basically saying that any number plus 0 equals itself, and any number times 1 equals 9. Now, that's a property that you don't even think about. You just use that automatically because it's something that you're familiar with. Inverse is basically the undoing. It's the opposite. It's going backwards from the operation. So instead of adding, the opposite or the inverse operation for adding would be subtracting. And the inverse operation for addition would be subtraction. This is talking about basically 9 plus its inverse, minus 9 is 0, and 9 times its inverse, reciprocal, 1 over 9 is equal to 1. So these are additive inverses, and these are multiplicative inverses here. And then inverse operations, I talked about very quickly at the beginning. Those were the opposite, inverse of addition and subtraction. Again, undoing, but again, inverse. So that is the inverse property. And then, moving on to something you probably haven't heard because I hadn't heard it this way. I found this graphic on invisible mathematics. And invisible mathematics are things that we all know or should know and do automatically, but they're really kind of invisible and we don't see them written out quite this way. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up um, a copy of the notes that are really going to show this in more detail so you can really see it. This is the note sheet for the unit, and we're just going to go through it very quickly. So, for example, when we talk about 3, we know that the denominator of every whole number is basically 1. This really becomes important later on in algebra to know that everything that is a whole number has a denominator of 1. There's a decimal point after the number 10. Again, sounds a little silly, but it will become important. Multiplication and division symbols, we've talked about how important those are to be able to recognize the different ways that we write things. There's a positive symbol before the number 6. Number 6 is positive. Unlike negative numbers, we don't put the positive sign there. X, written this way, really has a coefficient of 1. And again, this 1 is invisible next to every variable standing alone. But when you come to negative x, you need to remember that that's really a negative 1. So again, what might be intuitive, these are what we call invisible math. Going through them, I want you to review them with a partner and talk about them. And again, you may be like, oh, yeah, I knew that. But then there might be some, that you were not familiar with. You'll notice in the front of the classroom, we have the anchor chart, very, very large for this, hanging up so that you can always refer back to it as we're studying equations and expressions and trying to solve them. And oftentimes, I might even refer you to find the rule on the invisible math anchor chart. Because if you know the rules and the properties, oftentimes you can catch your own mistakes or find yourself a way out of your particular problem. So, that all being said, we're just going to practice with these things. The first thing you're going to do is complete the note activities on page 3. You're going to add vocabulary to your vocab section. This is a partner worksheet, and I'd like you to find somebody who's on the same lesson you are and work through these. I want you to discuss, debate, and decide. So this is something where I want you to practice your math discourse, and I want you to practice using the appropriate mathematical terms for things that you are trying to explain. If you have time and you need further practice, you can complete that properties workshop. It's actually two-page worksheet. It's actually 2 pages long. Challenge basically is over here, and what you're going to do is you're going to create a song or a rap that explains 3 things you've learned in this lesson. So if you have time and you'd like to do something a little creative one day, you can work with a friend creating a song or a rap. It doesn't have to cover every part of invisible math or every one of the properties, but I would say 5 would be sufficient to really do a good job. You're going to self-reflect, and then you're going to see us for the mastery check. A quick review here of your notes page. Creating flashcards using Canva. If you have not logged into Canva yet, you're going to log in with Google, just like you normally do for school things. You're going to make cards for the associative, commutative, distributive, identity, and inverse properties. You're going to add examples over here to each of the invisible math rules. Now, if you click on the note sheet, basically you're transferring the notes from the note sheet onto this personal math. And again, practicing these things really helps us to get the information ingrained in our minds. So good luck and happy learning.